Back to Philly Sports Unfiltered. Guys, in today's video, we are talking some James Harden. Guys, James Harden, it's about time we start to give this man his props in Philadelphia. He is not only talking like a leader, but he is acting like a leader. This is exactly the type of leadership we need on the Sixers. It's what we need in this city, and I'm incredibly excited. We've already heard all the reports about this offseason. James Harden, he's been working on his diet. He's trying to get back into elite form. He started his off-season training program earlier this season than in any other season in his career, and he seems like he's putting the work in on the basketball court. But he's come out with some recent comments. I want to go over this with you guys, and I think that James Harden is really blossoming into the kind of leader that we need to be a championship basketball team. Let's jump straight into the story today. So James Harden was recently interviewed about his entire contract situation with Philly. So there's a lot of reports that came out that says that James Harden, already signed his new deal. That's not true. James Harden has not signed his new deal yet. He has continued to hold off on signing it, and basically he has just revealed why. So James Harden basically says, look, I had conversations with team president Daryl Morey, and it was explained how we could get better and what the market value was for certain players. I told Daryl to improve the roster, sign who we needed to sign, and give me whatever is left over. This is how bad I want to win. I want to compete for a championship. That's all that matters to me at this stage. I'm willing to take less to put us in position to accomplish that. So it's what we are all speculating. The reason that James Harden has not signed his contract yet is he's giving Daryl Morey the flexibility, the financial flexibility to do whatever he can to make this the best possible roster. And James is saying, look, whatever's left over, I don't care. You go do what you got to do. You bring in the best guys, you stack up this roster, you put us in position to really make a move for a championship, and then whatever is left over, that's how I'm going to sign up for. He's saying that's all that matters to him at this point in his career. He's made his money. He's made his mark in the NBA. He doesn't really have much left to prove other than winning a championship, and he's putting his money where his mouth is. And this is what all the great athletes do. You look at, probably one of the most dominant athletes of all time, Tom Brady. What did he do to get to that level? He made sacrifices. He made financial sacrifices. And when you're a leader of a team and you're willing to make a financial sacrifice and you're willing to say, hey, all I care about is winning, you inspire those around you to do the same. Everybody else thinks, hey, you know what? If James can take a little bit less, maybe I can take a little bit less. Maybe I can work a little bit harder in the offseason. This is the kind of attitude that you need driving a team. And it goes farther from there. So I want to continue with this story a little bit further because there's further points I want to make in this. And, he's reflecting on the team a little bit, and he said, look, I think we have a much deeper team. That's something we wanted to address. If you look at our team now, we're positioned to go a lot further. I like how we stack up with a lot of the teams. Absolutely correct. The Sixers have added a lot of defense. They've added a lot of tenacity. They've added a lot of playoff playable players. And the roster is way better than where we were at last year. Now, this point for me is also really big. James Harden has been working on his relationship with Joel Embiid. These guys have been working out together in the offseason. Harden's been working out with Maxey in the offseason. They've been spending time together. They've been talking about how they want to approach leading this team, how they want to approach having a championship team. He said, I talk with Joel frequently, and we have meetings about how we're going to play and what we need to do to help our team win a championship. When you have two of the top players at their positions on the same team, that's a great building block. We're going to grow together and try to lead this team to the top. I believe we can do it together. So you have your two stars on the teams working together. How many years did we hope that Joel and Ben could come together, could work together, could come to an understanding, would spend time in the offseason thinking about the season that was come, planning how did they want to play, training together. All these things that we were hoping that Ben and Joel could be, we're now seeing this from James, from Joel, and from Tyrese. This is what we're seeing. Our three best players on this team, they're working out together in the offseason. They're spending time together. They're talking. They're being leaders. They're mentally envisioning what they want this team to be, and they're putting in the work. And I think we're sleeping a little bit on James Harden and just how good he still was. Now, I will admit, I was highly critical of some of the things that I saw from James last year. I didn't think that he was in the best physical shape, which was obvious. He was missing a step. He couldn't blow by defenders. I mean, I thought he was an incredible distributor last year. He was an incredible floor general. There's a lot of things that he did really great, but he was missing something physically. And I think that, some of that had to do with his hamstring situation. A lot of people, fail to remember that James Harden, he wasn't dealing with a hamstring pull. This was a tear that required surgery, okay? And I do think that was something that was hindering. I think he felt like physically, the hamstring, it did felt better towards the end of the year, but he just wasn't in the shape that he was. But he was saying, look, even in a down year, he still almost averaged a triple-double, which is absolutely true. I think that now that he's had this offseason to train, I think he's going to get that half step back. I think he's going to be a much better offensive player, and his mind for the game, his vision, his ability to be a floor general, to distribute, it's still going to be there. So I think we're going to see James Harden return to another level. I think that he is going to be looking more so like the James Harden of old. Is he going to be 2016 primetime chiseled James Harden? I don't think he can, reclaim to that level, but I do think that James Harden is going to go back. I think he's going to have a bounce back year. My opinion is that he is going to be an all-star, but I want to ask you guys, what do you think? Are you excited when you see this kind of leadership from James Harden? Do you think that he's going to be able to make a comeback this year in terms of reestablishing himself as an elite player in the NBA? Do you think he's going to be an all-star? For me, I'm saying yes, I think he's going to bounce back, and yes, I think he will be an all-star next season. But let me know, what do you say? Let me know in the comment section below. And guys, if you're enjoying the content, please consider subscribing to the channel, hitting a thumbs up on this video. It's all I got for this one, guys. I want to come out with another video tomorrow, and it is going to be a recap of the Sixers Summer League. Can't wait to get into that, because I do think that there are some interesting storylines which will have an impact on next season. So we'll touch on that in the next video. That's all I got for this one, guys. Go Sixers.